a fun activity to do. So what we're doing is we're taking a representation of something. Originally, in this case, it's an HTML table, and we're transforming it through applications. What we're doing, the applications can do one of two things, or might do both things. It can transform the representation from one form to another. So in the Google spreadsheet, we were transforming the representation from HTML table to CSV, okay, and we were making a URL available for that CSV representation of the data. The other thing we can do is we can actually manipulate the data. So in the Yahoo pipe, what we did was we changed the name of the city to the name of the city, comma, UK, right? So we did some manipulation of the elements in the representation as well. And finally, we could just, as one sort of transformation, it's not a transformation of representation from HTML to CSV, we did a transformation of KML to map view for person human viewer. Right, so that's just another representation. It's a visual representation that we consume as opposed to a formal representation that machines can consume. So the way I think about this is it's creating flow. It's creating ways of helping data and content flow around the web between applications. Right, and it allows people to engage in programming-like activity without having to write code. It's pretty much a case of taking a representation, the address of a particular representation of some information, a URL, like the URL for the CSV output of a spreadsheet, and passing it into an application that can then do some work on it. Okay, either a transformation or represent it visually. And one of the ways I do programming is just to think, I've got a set of data, I want to plot it on a map or a chart, how can I get there? I might not be able to do it in one step, but I might be able to do it through various steps because I know how to plug applications together. So what we did in the Google Docs, we can have there are various import formulas. You can import from an RSS or an Atom feed. You can import from HTML and get either a table or a list element, the elements in the list out. You can import CSV. You can import XML, although that doesn't always work. And you can import from other spreadsheets as well. You can also upload or import content from spreadsheets, XLS spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets. You can get various outputs from the Google document as well. You can get CSV output like we saw, the text representation, which I think is actually tab separated, but I'd have to check that, Atom and RSS flavoured output. And we can also interrogate it using something called the Google Visualization API, and I'll give you an example of that in a minute. So the way we use Google Spreadsheets is pretty much, in this flow style programming, we do an import, importing the HTML URL from Wikipedia. We're getting the content into the spreadsheet. We might, if we want to, apply spreadsheet formulae to this, so we might do manipulations. Okay, we can use the spreadsheet just as a normal spreadsheet. We can do stuff on it. We can create other sheets that refer to this sheet, and we can do computation in the spreadsheet using spreadsheet formulae without writing code, right? Without having to write for loops and handle our own data structures. We can use the spreadsheet to represent this two-dimensional data for us. And then we could take an output of CSV from that and do stuff with it. So this is flow, right? The idea of flow, getting content to flow. Right? You want to liberate it, you want to make it free to flow around. We saw that with the Google Docs. The output of the gluey bits in all of these is the representation, but the representation referenced by a URL. It's the URL that allows you to take the output of one application and put it into the input of another. More and more applications, if you look at applications, somewhere in URLs, more and more of them support the ability to import stuff from another URL. Okay, so you've got my URL and then call stuff from another URL equals, and then you put that URL. So more and more applications are supporting this. This is an example of the sort of URL that you might see. So this is an example of the URL that comes out of Google Spreadsheets. And if you intend working with machines and the web, I urge you to learn how to speak URL. Okay, you should be able to read URLs. When you use your browser, you should be able to hack the URL in the browser to get the application to do stuff you want. Next time you use Google, just try searching for different things by hacking the URL rather than hacking stuff in the Google search box. Okay? Learn to speak URL. I see this, I see it comes from spreadsheets.google.com. The pub thing, I know it's a public spreadsheet. The key is the identification number of that spreadsheet. Okay? The output and output equals CSV, it's telling me the output. So how do you think I might get a TXT output from this spreadsheet? Just change that. You just hack that bit of the URL. Yeah, if I want atom, what would I probably do? Just type atom. I mean, it might not work, right? But what have you lost? What have you lost? You've lost nothing. And if it does work, you know, you're in spades. And sometimes, I mean, with lots of Google things, there's lots of things that are undocumented as well. So you can try other output types and you may hit lucky. You also find that within a particular company and within families of applications, people are starting to converge on using similar terms. So just try and output, query and output on the URLs of other applications. See if it works. See if you can get a different format, right? If it doesn't work, you've not lost anything, you've not broken anything. If it does work, you're helping content flow that you can do stuff with. The range here is the range of cells. Okay, so the automatic link generation thing that I used in Google Spreadsheets wasn't working on the version of the browser we were using, but I happened to remember that and range equals gave me the output of cells I wanted. So you should be able to read stuff like this, and you should be able to write stuff like this, and you should be able to hack stuff like this. Hackable URIs, hackable URLs. So we get CSV out, we might be able to get tab-separated variable out as a text file. It's not just things like Google Maps that accept URLs, though, for rendering stuff. One of the tools that I played with quite a lot is a tool called Many Eyes, and Many Eyes Wikified. It's produced by IBM, and it allows you to visualize data in a nice, rich, interactive way. It uses Java applets to do so. And in Many Eyes Wikified, one of the things you can do is you can paste in the URI of a CSV file, like the one we got out of Google Spreadsheets, and it will go off and get the data, and it will let you visualize it in a variety of ways. Okay, so I can demonstrate that. If we go to the browser, we don't want that one. Which one was it? Wasn't that one? Are we going to get lucky? Okay, so we can take that, and somewhere I've got a Many Eyes wiki page here. I'm going to create a new page. Call this UOPWP demo. I don't think you can put spaces in the name of these page titles. I think it breaks, if it doesn't, it's one of my superstitious behaviours that has stood me in good stead. I urge you to develop superstitious behaviours if things don't work. Okay, so I can save that data. Everything on Google, on Many Eyes Wikified is public, which is something you have to bear in mind when you're pulling data into this thing. Just refresh that page. Okay, so this is Many Eyes Wikified, so this is an IBM server. It's pulled in stuff from a Google spreadsheet, which has come from from Wikipedia. If I edit that page again, well, I'll just grab a bit of the URI for that. So that's the path and the name of the page. Ooh, what happened there? Oh, okay, so it doesn't like IE very much. How do I do? I do this like this. WP, give my page a title, OU viz. So what I've done, this bit is the name of this page, where the data's coming from, the source data for a visualization, and I've given my title, my visualization a title. I think that's how you do it. Okay.